Hi, I'm Joe Hepworth and I'm the course leader for the Bachelor of Arts Screen production, and I'm here to answer as many of your questions as I can about the course. This course is about developing multi-skilled content creators, people who can work across multiple discipline areas, people who can write, direct, produce, to film, sound, edit, all of their own work and get it out, and most crucially, be able to get that work in front of an audience. And part of that is about identifying those opportunities and being able to capitalise them. That said, no one can make content on their own, and so collaboration and being able to work with people in groups, in teams, in particular roles is key to the success of that. What's special about AFTRS is the environment and the atmosphere that you're in. Having so many like-minded people and creative people who not necessarily think the same as you do, but have an interest in having the same conversations that you want to have. I think that's really exciting. It's a really exciting time to be able to be creative, to bounce ideas off of people, to be able to explore things that are important to you. I think that culture and environment is really special. So what we're looking for when you tell us your story is a couple of things. Firstly, it's your ability to tell a story. And my tip with that is don't treat that piece of work as though it's just a list of things that you've done or who you are. Actually tell it like a story, engage us like it's a story. Think about your opening, think about the conflicts and some of the challenges that you've had, think about how you're ending that story. So really try and frame it as a story. The second, I think, thing that we're looking for in that piece is really about you and your personality. And part of that is about what you tell us, and part of that is about how you go about telling us. Both of those things can bring about what is unique about you and who you are. We ignore the technology, I guess, in which you've used to make that. So whether you're making it on a phone or a big camera, whether you're writing a script, whether you're taking photos, it's really about the story that you're trying to tell and how you tell that story. A piece of advice or a tip I would give around that is some people apply using kind of still images, either of artwork or photos, and I think that's really great. That's a really important part of making screen content. What's sometimes quite difficult though is to convey a story within those still images, and so if you are going to do that, I'd really encourage you to think about making sure that story is really clear in those images. So the review is really to help us gauge how well you can articulate your thoughts and feelings about a creative piece of work. Now that creative piece of work doesn't have to be a film, doesn't have to be TV, and in fact it's a really good opportunity to tell us and show us something that's unique about you and something that you've experienced that meant something and resonated, and that might not be something we've ever heard of before, and that is where you get applications that just kind of get your interest a little bit more. The other thing to remember about that is it's not the same as doing an essay in your HSC, which is about kind of objective analysis of a piece of work. We really want to know what you feel and how it's personal to you and what that meant to you. No, you don't need an ATAR to apply for the BA. It's merit selection, so your portfolio of work and a couple of other bits, and that's all. No, I wouldn't say we're looking for experience. I think what we're looking for are people with good ideas and creativity, but people who apply have all kinds of ranges. There's people who've made loads of films before and are really comfortable with the technology and the cameras and stuff, but we get a lot of people who apply who have never made a film actually, and who are interested in writing or photography or any other medium to tell stories in. That's what we're looking for. I think what we're looking for are people who can tell stories primarily, and that includes your own story and who you are. The best applications, I think, it sounds obvious, are the ones that stand out, but they stand out because it's clear who that person is, what their interests are, what their background is, and so they have a sense of personality. No, you don't need to know how to use a camera. We get people from all kinds of backgrounds, so we got a lot of people who come because they're interested in writing, or because they can maybe have a stills camera and they take pictures, or people who have designed costumes. Stories can be told in all kinds of mediums. We're after storytellers. We can create content creators, we can teach you how to use cameras. We can't teach you how and to understand what a great story is. again, I think what we're looking for is storytelling. And there's people that come to storytelling having never had any formal introduction to it or studying, but they are just naturally good storytellers. That's the point of why we don't base our selection on ATAR. What we're looking for is that those abilities that you have, regardless of whether you've studied it in a formal way or not. So the course is 3 days a week in school, and then there's an SDL day, which is where students study independently outside of that. Most of our students find employment either in the evenings or on the days that they're not in school. So the number of films you make is a lot down to you and your engagement with the course and the different students in your cohort and across the years. We have 6 semesters over the 3 years, and at the end of every semester we have what we call a production period, and within that you make a major piece that you're then assessed on. But students also make projects, they group together and make stuff in the holidays, outside of term time, in the evenings and at weekends, and I think that's one of the great things about being at film school and in AFTRS particularly, is the people that you meet and the cohort that you creatively engage with. All of our subjects deal with the equipment that we use at the school here. A lot of exercises within class use the equipment. Obviously the productions at the end of semester have that equipment. That said, it's really important to us, equipment goes out of date regularly. Every 2 or 3 years the equipment gets refreshed. What never goes out of date is creativity and the ideas and what you're going to do with that equipment. And that's really our focus. That doesn't mean that we don't use equipment, that doesn't mean that the equipment that is not an important aspect of the course, but it is only a tool, and the tool is only as good as the ideas and the passion and the energy in which you want to use those tools. The first 2 years of the course are core subjects, and they're really focused on creating generalists. Students and graduates who can work in multiple roles across all kinds of different platforms, so they're adaptable and versatile and have a really deep understanding of what everybody's doing on set. Within the 3rd year there is room to specialise. Some of our students do gravitate towards particular areas, and so we have about 12 electives and students can choose 3 of those over the course of their 3rd year. The course is really focused on a few different things. Firstly, the idea of creating generalists and multi-skilled content creators. That's really important. We're not just focused on film, because we see a lot of opportunities, and increasingly so, being across lots of other different kinds of platforms. We teach you about being a storyteller, and particularly an Australian storyteller. AFTRS is a very special place. It has a very special position within our kind of cultural sector, and part of that is about creating Australian storytellers. And so we really talk about what does that mean and what does that involve, both in terms of the freedoms that provides, but also the responsibilities that come with that as well. We teach a whole lot of craft skills, obviously. You know, what does it mean to be a director, to be a writer, to be a producer, a cinematographer, etc. Then there's a whole load of other skills that are really important to being a working professional. And our course is really focused on that outcome, that people getting jobs at the end. So things like analysis and people skills and communication, cultural competency, all of those things feed into your experience at AFTRS. Yeah, there's a minimum age. You need to be 17 at the point of coming to AFTRS, so you need your high school certificate. So the way we structure our course is around subject areas, and our subjects are screen business, story, image, character and performance, rhythm and juxtaposition, and sound, and then we bring it all together in production at the end. The reason we teach in those concept areas, which are really just big ideas, is because every single subject, no matter what discipline you want to be in, and by discipline that's what I mean editing and directing and cinematography, each of those subject areas are relevant no matter what discipline you want to work in. So for example, if you want to be a screenwriter and you're coming in going, actually I know where I want to be, then story, image, rhythm, juxtaposition, they're all relevant to you. So in terms of where we teach those skills, each subject has specific skills attached, but the idea is that all subjects become relevant to you no matter where you want to end up working. Yep, we have loads of scholarships at AFTRS. We're really passionate about providing an opportunity for as many people as possible to come here and to reduce those barriers. There's a lot of different scholarships, so my recommendation would be to check out our website, and if you've still got questions, to give us a call. Yeah, there's internship opportunities throughout the course. We concentrate on year 3 where possible because we put a really big focus on trying to bridge that gap between the course and the school and then going out and getting jobs in the industry once you've graduated. So we're really lucky here at AFTRS because of our reputation, the position we have. We get a lot of people come to us with opportunities. So there's 2 main avenues that our graduates take. The first is, I guess, working in entry-level jobs, and that could be across multiple areas, from post-production to development to, runners and production coordinators on set, camera assistants, editing assistants, etc. But there's another route as well, which is one that we're really excited about, and that's about developing creative entrepreneurs, people who develop ideas for content, whether that be web series, whether that be podcasts, whether it be online, and actually find those opportunities and help exploit those opportunities so that they can build an audience, and by building an audience demonstrate the quality of the ideas and their work, and then they get funding to take their projects to the next step.